Excuse me! Taxi!
This is the 77 WABC minicast.
Well, the shutdown is continuing. I can't believe it. It is day 40. And many TSA agents are calling out sick. They're trying to feed their families. This is horrible what's been happening all over the Democrats, still criticizing ICE, the heroes, the men and women that are out there on the front line. And joining us now to talk about all of this is the great border czar, Tom Homan. Tom, we're so happy to have you back here on the show. And what's your reaction that this is still stretching into, I can't believe, obviously, a month and a half almost now. I can't imagine how tough it is.
Look, bottom line is that I can't believe any member of Congress will fail to vote to open the Department of Homeland Security, especially when we're in a time of a heightened security posture, right? Because what's going on in the world, that you would not fund the Coast Guard, not fund CISA, who protects our cyber security, which we know our enemies get at that won't fund the men and women that keep the skies and airways safe. I mean, it's ridiculous. And I've been up on Capitol Hill a lot. White House asked me to get engaged with negotiations. They simply want to, they say, they just want to reform ICE. No. They want to shut down ICE. They want to, change policies so ICE can't enforce all. They want to tie their hands. Well, you know what? We had our hands tied for 4 years on the Biden administration. We're not tying their hands anymore. We're going to do the job. And, President Trump called me up this weekend and said, what do you think about sending, ICE to the airport? And I thought it was a good idea. I mean, this was his idea. And we send to the airport for two reasons. Number one, because a lot of TSA agents are calling out sick. A lot of them quit. I think we had almost 500 quit. So number one, we got to secure that airport. We got to protect that airport and provide security. Number two, help TSA move those lines more quickly and support the American people who are trying to, get to those lines. So whether it's, you're spring break, Easter, I mean, you're punishing the American people by not opening the Department of Homeland Security. So great idea. The wait times are already going down. The men and women of ICE are doing a great job, like they always have and always will do. So great, great. I got a great president who came up with a great idea and it's working.
Yeah, I love it. What about the National Guard? He said he thinks maybe likely National Guard. Are you for that as well?
Well, we talked about that, and I said, he put me in charge of this thing. So I got more jobs right now than Marco Rubio. But anyways, I told him that to that point. That, I will let him know. But right now, I talk to the TSA administrator every day. It's on how things are going. And I think right now we're good with ICE. But if we need them, if more TSA workers leave or don't call in sick, then we might have to reconsider that because we still got a job to enforce immigration law out on the streets and keep us in the worst of the worst. So, it's a balancing act. We'll see how it goes. But President Trump has offered them up if I need them, and we'll see.
Now, and one more thing, John Catsimatidis here. Are the people at the airports happy that the lines may be moving faster because we sent additional people in?
Yes, absolutely. And I've talked to a lot of ICE agents, and the public's walking up to them and thanking them, for going over there and taking this mission on. And you got Democrat, senators, they're going to shoot people at airports and they're not trained. Look, we're not going to have ICE agents sitting at an x-ray machine looking at images because they're not trained in that. And that's a lot of training involved. But ICE agents can check IDs before they get in the security line. You go in there and you hand the driver's license and put it through that little machine. Well, a federal law enforcement officer certainly has the training to do that. Federal law enforcement officer can certainly cover the exit lanes, make sure people don't enter through the exit lanes. Our federal officers can also, provide additional security wherever TSA and the FAA needs them to make sure that the airport's locked down, right, for security reasons. And finally, if we're at the airport, ICE and ICE, HSI, and the ARO, if they see illegal activity, whether it's human trafficking, alien smuggling, or currency smuggling, they're going to enforce the law too. So we're multi-purpose there, and I hope this shutdown ends because these men and women need to get paid. For God's sakes, they got to feed their families, they got to pay their rent and mortgage, and it's just terrible that these members of Congress who are sitting there getting paid want to shut down again. The Department of Homeland Security because they don't like what ICE does. Well, let me remind them, ICE is doing exactly what you mandate them to do because they're enforcing the laws that you enacted. And we're not going to apologize, and we're not going to stop them doing it.
Bravo. Absolutely. And Tom, Judge Weinberg has a question.
Tom, good to talk to you again. So you have a local DA in Philadelphia, Krasner, and he's already announced he's going to arrest and put in handcuffs ICE agents if he decides that somehow they're breaking the law. And I say that's an obstruction of federal authority. The federal authorities are preempted over the local authorities. If he makes this arrest, he should be arrested for obstruction under federal felony charges. He should be indicted, he should be convicted, and he should be disbarred. Your thoughts?
Well, look, his threats, good luck with that. Because like you said, bottom line is good luck with that. Because you know what? He's a district attorney. I mean, his number one responsibility is the protection of his community and the citizens of that county. Start acting like it. I mean, ICE is arresting some of the worst criminals in this country, taking them off the street, making his county much safer. So you know what? A thank you would be nice, because we're working to make that community safer, and we're going to keep on doing it. And, you know, I'll put Pam Bondi against them any day.
You know, Tom Homan, speaking of which, the other thing I was astounded, he's the House Minority Leader, the leading Democrat in the House of Representatives, Hakeem Jeffries, essentially saying that ISIS could kill you at the airport. And he was referring to, this is what they did in Minneapolis, he's saying, and they could do it to you. I mean, how scary is that? And how much does that put our great men and women in ICE in danger?
Well, first of all, it's disgusting, right? He's one of the members who want ICE to get unmasked. Well, you know what? You know why we're wearing masks, Hakeem? It's because of people like you that vilify the men and women of ICE, comparing them to the Nazis and the secret police, which has caused an 8,000% increase in death threats, a 1,400% actual increase in threats because of comments like that. And on the other hand, you want us to take off the mask. Well, you know what? No, we're not. And that's one of the things that Hill keeps pushing for in negotiations. I'm not putting one ICE officer at risk. There's no requirement they wear a mask. They do it out of choice because of threats and because of doxing of them and their families. So you know what? Stop your hateful rhetoric, and maybe if the threats go down and decrease, we'll think about it. But right now, I'm not going to do a thing to put our ICE officers at risk.
And also we have Georgia Venizelos, who was with the FBI for many years.
Tom, good talking to you. You know what makes me sick, and I think you'll agree, is these politicians. You know, I've lived through a bunch of these shutdowns, and we're essential employees, so we're going to work no matter what. And they know that. They know that this ICE or even that the TSA employees are going to have to go to work. It's almost like that. It's abuse. They're abusing these poor people and have to live. And most of these people live paycheck to paycheck. It's unbelievable that this has gone on this long or gone on at all. It's sick of it.
If you think about it, you know, I think average TSA officer makes about $40,000 a year.
Right.
And just picture making $40,000 a year in New York City, LaGuardia, or JFK, you know, and you're right. You're right. They ought to pass a law if they really believe in what they're doing. Pass a law that when the government shuts down, members of Congress don't get paid. And let's see how many times you shut down.
100%.
You know, Tom, this is Fernando Mateo. It's an honor to speak to you. And we launched here in New York City a program that is extending credit to every TSA agent to put food on their table. So we put together maybe 20 or 30 supermarkets that are located where they live, okay? They live in the outer boroughs, near the airports in some cases. So we strategically found supermarkets where they can go into, shop up to $150 every week, and then pay back when they're able to. Am I correct? So what we're doing now is trying to lend a hand. I've gotten so many calls from TSA agents, maybe a dozen or more calls a day with men and women crying, thanking us for what we're doing. But now we were able to secure $100,000 where we're able to give 2,000 agents at least $50 for them to be able to buy food. What are your thoughts on something like that? Will they be able to accept it?
That's brilliant. Send me the information on that, because that needs to be a nationwide effort.
You know, we've reached out to Costco's and Walmart and all these people so that they can join New York, okay? New York in doing that. We're the first in the nation. And we don't know how long these people are going to starve. And they're starving right now.
And I love what, Tom, what you just said too. Make it a nationwide, make it originating here, but kick it off.
I'm being serious. Give me that information.
Give it to Rita, and Rita will get it to him.
Nationwide effort.
Okay.
I want to see if I make a nationwide effort. And I'll check with the administration, see if we can do it. I don't know the legalities around that, but I'd like to get more information on that. Absolutely. And God bless you for doing that.
Thank you.
We'll send it to you. Tom, yeah. I'll send it to you. Awesome. That's great. Boy, that would be great. And it's a great way to say thank you to them, but because boy, do they deserve it. Wow.
Tom Homan, I'm glad you're getting the message through, and I am glad that the president made the right decision and put you in charge after, and I'm glad we had that discussion that day.
Well, thanks for having me. I appreciate it. And I'm just waiting for my next job assignment. We'll see.
They're going to give you a tougher job than Minnesota. It's called California.
You got it, sir.
Thank you so much.